That Ragged Old Flag by Johnny Cash.
I walked through a county courthouse square. On a park bench, an old man was sitting there. I said, your old courthouse is kind of run down. He said, nah, it'll do for our little town. I said, your flagpole has leaned a little bit, and it's a ragged old flag you've got hanging on it.
He said, have a seat, and I sat down. He said, is this the first time you've been to our little town? I said, I think it is. He said, well, I don't like to brag, but I'm kind of proud of that ragged old flag.
You see, we got a little hole in that flag there when Washington took it across the Delaware, and it got powder burned the night Francis Scott Key sat watching it, writing Say, Can You See? And it got a bad rip in New Orleans with Packingham and Jackson tugging at its seams.
And it almost fell in Alamo beside the Texas flag, but she waved on though. She got cut with the sword at Chancellorsville. She got cut again at Shiloh Hill. There's Robert E. Lee, Beauregard, and Bragg. The South blew a little hard on that ragged old flag.
On Flanders Field in World War I, she got a big hole from a Bertha gun. She turned blood red in World War II. She hung low and limp a time or two. She was in Korea and Vietnam, and she went where she was sent by Uncle Sam.
She waved from our ships upon the briny foam, and now they about quit waving her back here at home. In her own good land here, she'd been abused, she'd been burned, dishonored, denied, and refused.
The government for which she stands is scandalized throughout the land. She's getting threadbare and wearing thin, but I think she's in good shape for the shape she's in, because she's been through the fire before, and I think she can take a whole lot more.
So we raise her up every morning, we take her down every night. We never let her touch the ground, we float her upright. On second thought, I do like to brag, because I'm mighty proud of that ragged old flag.
Okay, now our class is going to tell you a story. They're going to read a book about one of our national symbols that is loved by many, our flag.
The Flag We Love by Pam Ryan.
Our flag is our country's symbol of ideals that are meant to last. It's a promise for our future and a reminder of our past. The many connotations for which our banner stands reflect our country's best intentions and the people of this land.
A seamstress stitched a banner for a country proud and new, from ribbon works of red and white and a yard of deep sky blue.
Who made the first stars and stripes? No one knows for sure. There are many stories and myths about its origin. Many historians consider Francis Hopkins, one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence, to be the designer. Betsy Ross, a seamstress, did sew one of the earliest versions of the flag for the Pennsylvania Navy in 1777. As for who made the very first flag, it is still a mystery. America's first flag has 13 stars on a blue field and 13 stripes to represent the 13 colonies. At first, there were no guidelines about the arrangement of stars and stripes, how big the blue field should be, or how many points the star should have. Flag makers were free to make many designs.
A teacher raises a radiant flag to let the children know the schoolyard is a place to come for the chance to learn and grow.
The stars and stripes flew over a log schoolhouse as early as 1812 in Coloron, Massachusetts. In the late 1800s, James B. Upham, a patriot, wanted the school children to show love for their country. He asked them to save their pennies to buy American flags for their schools. His idea was popular with both children and adults, and within a year, they raised enough money to purchase thousands of flags. Today, as a patriotic custom, the flag is still flown near schools when classes are in session.
Americans stand together before ceremonies start and promise their allegiance with hands across their hearts.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. The original Pledge of Allegiance, written by Francis Bellamy, first appeared in a children's magazine in 1892. He wrote it to honor the 400th anniversary of Columbus's voyage to America. The following month, children first recited the pledge in public schools in celebration of Columbus Day.
The Pledge of Allegiance. I
Me, an individual,
pledge
promise
allegiance
my loyalty
to the flag
to a symbol of the USA.
of the United
We are all together and in agreement.
States of America
50 individual communities.
and to the republic
A government of representatives chosen by the people. The U.S. government is of the people, by the people, and for the people.
for which it stands,
The United States,
one nation,
one united country,
under God,
blessed and judged by God,
indivisible,
not able to be divided or separated.
with liberty
Freedom, the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness without fear.
and justice
Fairness,
for all.
for all people, men and women, all races and all religions, everyone. The diligent stars and stripes waved on through the long and pounding night, while patriots prayed that they would see their flag at morning's light.
From a boat in Baltimore Harbor, Francis Scott Key observed the British bombing of Fort McHenry in the War of 1812. During the night, he saw only glimpses of the American flag through the smoke and flares of light. The next morning, he was so happy to see the flag still flying that he began writing a poem. Later, this poem was put to the tune of another song and became America's national anthem, the Star-Spangled Banner. The flag that inspired the Star-Spangled Banner was made by Mary Pickerson Gill and her daughter Caroline. It measured 30 feet by 42 feet. It was as wide as most two-story houses are tall. Today, that restored flag is on display at the Smithsonian Institute in Washington, D.C. Please stand with us as we sing the Star-Spangled Banner.